Hated Gordon Ramsay for a really long time. And in fact, I blame Gordon Ramsay for making working in restaurants so incredibly hostile. Gordon Ramsay was a failed soccer player. He hurt himself. And then he went into the kitchens and he took that same super jock, competitive, win at all costs mentality into the kitchen. And it makes perfect sense to me that he would latch himself onto a toxic fucking brand, get his money, and then get out. If you've never watched a Gordon Ramsay show, and I'm sure you have at some point, he is famous for doing one thing, which is screaming in people's fucking faces, okay? He is famous for screaming in people's faces and telling them that they did a terrible job. I'm sorry, that's not okay. That's not how you talk to people. And that is also not how you get people to work hard for you. This is just, and we see it with politics right now. What works better to get people to work for you? Threatening or helping and collaborating, right? This is the epitome of toxic masculinity. To be very clear, he did not invent this style of kitchen management. In fact, he just perpetuated it and made it more prevalent. So kitchens have always been very stressful places to work in, especially because the modern kitchen structure is built off of a French Navy, like a French Navy hierarchy, right? And there was a huge sense of urgency because you had to get things out on time. It is a very stressful job. However, the most professional kitchens, and I've been in quite a few, they are silent, right? You are working silent in tandem. And you don't need to scream at people to get things done. That only escalates things, because next time, guess what? You have to scream even louder. And then you scream even louder the next time. That is not how you run a professional kitchen. And then guess what? No one wants to work for you because you're such a dick that people just quit, right? And guess what? Having to train new people all the time is really expensive. And then your quality suffers as a result. So in general, not only is this a terrible way to manage, it's a terrible way to run restaurants. And I think a lot of people, I know a lot of up and coming chefs watched Gordon Ramsay and then learned that this is how you run a kitchen, by yelling and with threats and intimidation. I worked in a kitchen where someone loved Gordon Ramsay and was just a dick. That restaurant is not open. That restaurant didn't last long. But the restaurants that I did work in they were very, very successful and they were open for a really long time. Those were restaurants where they were quiet in the kitchen. When someone did something wrong, you didn't just yell and scream in their face. You collaborated, you coached, you redirected, and then afterwards you reconvened. And if they weren't going to change their behavior and they weren't going to meet that standard, then you figure out a different role for them in the kitchen. You don't scream in their face. So anyways, it makes perfect sense to me that he would latch himself onto a toxic fucking brand, get his money, and then get out.